So here we go. Thank you Thank you everyone for joining the class. We have some extra new member last minute. So let's check everybody that he's here on board. So who is on board here? We're looking for Isabella Landrosh. We're looking for Salina. And we're looking for everybody who signed up. Salina, Sophie, Susan Brennan, Steve Calco, Susan Bilotti, Barbara Buck, Elena Grace. Did I miss anyone? Hello. Okay, cool. We have everyone here. Who of you guys have more than one dog? Raise your hand. So what we're going to talk today is about parenting styles. So basically we have different parenting styles. It's very important so we have a better understanding how dogs perceive us. So first of all, let's check who of you guys have more than one dog. Raise your hands or send some hearts, whatever you like. So let's get organized. If yes, you can send a heart, okay? How to send hearts is you push on your Monicon down on the cursor line, you just push it to the side and click on what you want. If it's okay, you just put the thumbs up. And if it's no, you just make an angry face so we can better know what's going on. So if I ask a question, who has a dog? You guys, thumbs up or hearts. Who likes to being an authoritarian parent? Everybody should be like angry face. If somebody's happy about it, that's fine too. So the next thing is authoritative parenting. And then we have the permissive parenting. And then we have the uninvolved parenting. You know, the one you don't like. So we want to look closer into that and see what the problems are. So I don't see any thumbs ups yet, so nobody has dogs. At least it doesn't show up on my computer. So we have here Susan, Sophie, Steve, Isabella, Susan, Elena. Okay, did I miss anybody? No, good. So, first question on you guys. Authoritarian parenting and authoritative parenting. What is the difference? Do you know the difference? Authoritarian parenting is pretty strict. Authoritarian parenting doesn't give any room for errors. If something is wrong, you get corrected. You shouldn't wear these clothes to go to church. Back to your room. You don't know what church clothes look like. Therefore, you most likely be wrong with anything you dress because one that you like, nobody else likes. So you have to hardwire adjusting to it. For example, an authoritative parent will explain to you that we go in the church with clean clothes. So we look clean. So we cannot wear the dirty jeans that we had yesterday doing the farming work. And so the reason why we don't go with these clothes is because we don't want to sit next to the other people and we should stink with dirty clothes, right? So that will make sense. And you know what? Maybe I should wear clean clothes. The other thing we want to check with authoritarian parenting is because it's very strict, there should be a correction. For example, let's go to the dogs. The dog doesn't sit. And because he doesn't sit, he has to be corrected or punished. The dog doesn't understand why he should sit. But for an authoritarian parent, he doesn't care because dogs have to sit, period. Even if the dog cannot sit, the authoritarian parent will still convince that the dog has to sit. That's the rule, period. And if not, then he has to be corrected. An authoritative parent, a dog doesn't sit. The first question is, how do I make my dog happy sitting? How do I encourage my dog sitting? Does it have a benefit? The dog should understand that sitting should have a benefit interaction. Meaning is, you see that treat? Oh yeah. What do you do for it? Sitting maybe? Good! Perfect! I love that. I love you sitting. And you get a treat for that. This is what we do. Before we exit the door, I want you to sit. That's the rule. And I'll pay for it. Big bucks. Super yummy treats. Are you with me? Sure, I do that. That's the point. So if they are authoritative parent, make things happy around the event. An authoritative parent sends the message so the dog will understand, process the information, make conclusions out of it, and see what's out of it. The next part, when we go deeper into the parenting part, we will see there is a permissive parenting. Does anybody know the permissive parenting? Most of the people, for you guys who work or foster, are the parents who want the dog to be happy. No restrictions. Life is good. Just be happy. I don't mind what my dog does. I don't he's chew on my corner, he doesn't pee on my carpet, he's free to do whatever he wants. I have a 50-acre yard, he can go outside playing with his friends. He doesn't have any, but he'll find something, right? So I'm going to work, make sure my dog has food and he gets to the bathroom. And yeah, life is good. So, what does the dog get out of it? The problem with that is the dog doesn't have the parenting part. He doesn't have the technical knowledge. He can do whatever he wants as long as he doesn't get in trouble. So if the dog is lucky and is smart and figure things out on his own, he's lucky. If not, he's being dumped to the shelter because, we don't punish dogs here. We don't correct dogs. Dogs are fine. So, my lifestyle is that. And if I want my dog to be happy, and if he's not happy with me, I'll find him another home. Maybe a shelter. Maybe a rescue will adopt him out. Because I love dogs. Don't take me wrong. I really like them. But, I don't have time for my dog. If I have time, I'll take him for a walk. If not, I'll just let him out in the yard. That's life is good, right? And then you have the uninvolved parents. The uninvolved parents are the worst kind. Sorry for you guys, whoever is here, I don't believe you guys. Because if you were an uninvolved parent, you wouldn't be on that class. So I'm not afraid of that. You guys are awesome. So, an uninvolved parent is so uninvolved that the dog actually doesn't know that he has somebody who cares for him. You will find the food bowl on the floor full of food, water, and if it's empty, well, then it's empty. Oops, I didn't see it. Well, I don't really care. Well, the bathroom door is open. He can go drink water from the toilet bowl. He does it all the time. There's fresh water in it. Flush it 3 times a day, most of the times. Yeah, and food is always there. I fill it up once a week. And as the bin goes lower and lower and the dog doesn't fit in his head anymore, then I fill it up once in a week. Usually. Yeah. I grew up alone, so the dogs didn't have to grow up themselves. I just make sure they have a house. I love dogs. I really care for dogs. I make sure they have water and they have the bathroom and food and we're good. Dog walk? Yeah. They have the yard. I hire somebody, cleans up once a week and we're good. So uninvolved parenting is the worst case because the dog doesn't get social skills. The dog doesn't get personal interaction. The dog basically falls apart. If he's a strong dog, he's a strong-willed dog, he ends up in a shelter. Guaranteed. Because he's bored, he starts digging, barking, jumping over the fence, digging holes, barking at the neighbors. The dog is such a mess that usually these kind of people get complaints. The dog sleeps outside all day long. Nobody cares. Water bowl is empty, food bowl is empty. If you see a foster home and you think that by me, that could be an uninvolved parent, just don't sign up. It's a bad choice. I would prefer a permissive parent over an uninvolved parent. However, my favorite adoption person that I would adopt any dog that I know of is the authoritative parent, because it guarantees me that the parent wants to educate the dog as much as possible. He will listen to you as a foster or as a trainer. He will focus on what you're saying, try to understand the concept and apply the concept to the dogs. The most important is the dog is not being exposed to mistakes that happens around him without him understanding what's going on. So if the dog makes a mess, he will not be punished. The owner will find a way to make the dog succeed and not fail. Versus the authoritarian parent will punish the dog for peeing. If the dogs make a mistake, he will get hurt. He will get intimidated. He will be punished. He will be closed up. So either you have a perfect dog, plug and play, and you want to adopt him out to authoritarian parent with all these risks, then it's fine. But if you have a dog who's not perfect, you can only drop him out to a parent who is authoritative, that can help the dog out through the process. So any questions to that part? So the next thing I want to talk about is, for you guys who know already and watched my videos, you will recognize that I have 3 categories. The one is the teacher, and then is the companion, and we have a healer. An authoritarian parent who has a teacher dog, and the teacher, as most of you know, who joined my classes, the more advanced classes, is where the dog has a certain concept and has to stay in that frame. We call them stubborn dogs because they know everything better. And then if this dog makes a mess and the dog believes he's right, then the authoritarian parent will punish the dog for misbehaving. Will the teacher dog get offensive about that because he doesn't understand why he's wrong? Nobody told him not to bark at the fence, yet he's being corrected. Well, if I don't bark at the fence, who's gonna fix the problem if I'm a dog? My parent doesn't care. The only thing he cares is about me not barking. But somebody has to fix the problem. So we get the problem here, it gets deeper and deeper to the point that the dog becomes aggressive towards the owner because it's an authoritarian parent versus a teaching dog. That's a conflict. I would say 90% of dogs who end up in a shelter for misbehaving or biting the owners, bad behavior, not biting, usually we have a teacher and a very intense authoritarian parent. And it's nothing wrong with it because most of these authoritarian parents had authoritarian parents. So it's kind of an evolution from being being raised by authoritarian parents and step out of that concept and being an authoritative parent. Because we have to step away of punishing. Punishing is not solving a problem. It creates another problem. And people think by forcing and power, dog will follow instructions. Yes, he will most likely, but it comes out of fear. And fear makes the dog defensive. And if the dog is defensive, he has the right to bite. So we have a vicious circle of a reactive parent who is authoritarian and a defensive dog who thinks he's right. You see the clashing point? Do you have that kind of dog who is very stubborn and makes you go to the edge and say, "Damn it! Stop chewing on my cables!" T-bone? So, you need to watch that. If you become reactive towards that dog because he really pisses you off, then I would just hold in there and says, wait a minute. Does my dog know what to do? Is my dog aware of the job? Is my dog aware what I don't like and what I like? And let's assume the whole thing. If my dog chews on the cables, there is a reason for that. He's bored, A. The cable has some chocolate on it. The cable is hanging always in his face, so therefore the first thing to do is just chew whatever hangs on your face because he lays next to the bed and the cables are there. And then the dog doesn't have enough exercise, he gets all his energy up, and so what he does is goes in kind of in a prey drive situation, he's just chewing on stuff because he's stressed. So before I react to my dog, I will hold place and say, wait a minute, what's wrong with my dog? What's wrong with me? Is there something I can do better? That's the authoritative parent. This is what you should be working with your dog. So it doesn't matter if you're a trainer, behaviorist, parent, foster home, or just a rescue person who works with your dog in a shelter. Be aware that authoritative parenting does not mean that you have to own the dog. I can be an authoritative trainer and help the dog understand my next exercise, warm him up to that, build these small exercises, small steps, and let him walk through the steps, step by step, so he can reach the maximum knowledge. And then I build up my knowledge based on one, for example, sit. Then I will build up sit. He knows how to do sit, and I reward him for that, which is fine. Reward can be anything, from petting, words, just interacting with him could be rewarding. And then from that sit, I create a whole structure around it. Sit, good boy, stay, moving backwards. Come, good boy, sit, and then you build it up. And then you do that sit in front of the door. You do that sit before he enters the car. The dog knows that through sit, I get what I want. I show him a treat. What do I get? A sit. Good boy, treat. I didn't even say it. The dog understands that to get what I want, I get it through sit. That's authoritative. So what authoritarian trainers do is they say one sit and then they choke. They lift the dog on the neck. What the dog does, try to avoid it. Meaning is the butt goes down, the head goes up, so because he wants to get higher. And if he resists, then we choke him even higher because the dog fights about it. And then, nope, sit, 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 sit. Good. And then we give a treat. But the treat comes after fear. What do I reward? Do I reward action through fear? Or do I reward free will sit? So positive sitting is not just positive for the one who gets the command followed, but for the dog who's going through the process of understanding what we want. The dog is happy for receiving the information and processing it. Okay? So, question. Let me check if you guys have any questions, because I don't see any feedback on my phone here. See? You guys, I don't see these messages here. Okay, let's check it in, because guys, good. Steve, 4 dogs. Okay, Carol, 8 dogs. Holy bark. Susan Brennan, 1 dog and 5-year-old visiting. Oh boy. Okay, Elena Grace, 3 resident dogs and usually 1 foster at a time. Awesome. Susan Bellotti, 5 dogs, 3 fosters, and all white. I mean the dogs, it was mine. So, Susan Brennan, yes, no alpha crap. Perfect. Isabella, hi, I have only 1 dog. Only? That's a lot. 1 dog is a lot, can be a lot. I'm not an authoritarian parent. Perfect, I like that. Good. I think I should watch more my phone and the screen. Letting the dog being in charge. Letting the dog being in charge doesn't work, makes reactive dog. Correct. I'm authoritative parent and husband is permissive. Okay, that happens. 2 dogs, an English Mastiff and a Dachshund. So, I'm having a hard time hearing you and my laptop, and I can't the video to come up on my phone. That's interesting. So, Diane, maybe you want to close all your apps that you have on your phone. Too many devices on your web may slow down your speed. So if one of you guys is savvy, maybe you want to message her. So I need to keep my phone here on site. Good. So is anything clear here now with the parenting? I love you guys that you have this authoritative parenting style, because I'm an authoritative trainer when it comes out to training. Actually, I don't like training. I like challenging dogs and teach them stuff. Training is kind of too limited. Training is just sit and stay. I like the dogs to experience and educate. I feel I'm more a dog educator than a dog trainer. I like being educator that help people.
I can't see you on my phone. Selena can't see you on her phone.
Okay.
So there's 3 of us now that can't see you on our phones itself. They could be maybe to start it over, or
Okay. Well, it seems that it's. I got feedback from Barbara that.
I can see it on my iPad, not on my phone.
Okay. So the signal goes out from here. Okay. Good. I will be patient. Good. If you guys have problems watching the video, no big deal. Once the video is ending, you can review it later, so you will not miss anything from here. So if you guys have any questions, you're welcome to text it here. Let me see if everything is clear. Good. Let me take away the microphone and see if you guys can hear me better. 3, 2, 1. Good. Maybe now we can hear better. Can you guys give me feedback on the microphone? Sounds better, right? Good. Let's do that. Yeah, I have this microphone. It's kind of like directive microphone. And I think it's kind of further away. I have to be kind of in the microphone range. So I'll get rid of that now. Good. Better, better, better. Oh, good. Okay, now we learn. Usually it works. I guess it doesn't work today. So we fixed that part. So have anyone questions about it? You can even do it after. So once you're done with the video and you can check it out on your off time, you can still see comments and I can reply to the comments. So let's close this chapter for now and let's go then to the next chapter. So stay tuned on the class. So I will close that video, upload that video, and then we go to the next chapter.